Welcome to Math 1025, Geometry in the Real World. My name is Carol DeFries, and I'll be your instructor this semester. The purpose of this video is to give you some idea of how the course will be run and to give you some information on some things that you need to do before the very first class begins. The first thing you should do is read the syllabus. You'll find that on My Gateway in the course website under the Syllabus tab. You'll see that there is a textbook for this course, and you also need some supplies. You need a compass and a protractor for the geometric constructions that we're going to do. If you decide to use a calculator during the course, please be aware that you are not allowed to use a calculator on any of the tests. So it might not be a bad idea to wean yourself off of that calculator so that you know that you can do the basic arithmetic you need to do in order to do the problems on the test without a calculator. You'll also notice on the first page of the syllabus a description of the things that are going to contribute toward your grade. That will be homework, projects, quizzes, tests, and the final exam. The second page of the syllabus tells you how your grade will be determined, the academic dishonesty policy of the university, and what would happen if, for some reason, class had to be canceled. And the third page has our schedule, so that you'll know day by day exactly what we're going to be doing in the class. Now the first day is really important to note because you really need to start the work for the first day's class before the first day of class. That's because for every single class period, you will have to do some pre-class preparation to get you ready for the class. That means you're going to have to watch a video or you can read your textbook to understand the material that we're going to talk about on that day. Your textbook, remember, is always a resource for you. And the videos are something you can access through whatever device you use to access the internet. Now the reason why that's important is that this class is run as a flipped classroom. That might be something that you're not familiar with, because there's a good chance that most of the math classes you've taken have been traditional classes, where you come to class, the teacher lectures to you, you take notes, then you go home and you try to do the homework on your own. The next day you come back and you do the same thing all over again. In a flipped classroom, that lecture, that instruction, comes from the video. And then when you come to class, you get a chance to practice what you saw on the video. That gives you a chance to get a deeper understanding of the concepts, and it also gives you a chance to ask questions in class on the things that you didn't understand in the video. So if this is what you expected the classroom to look like, where a teacher just talks at you for the entire class period, that's not the way this class is going to look. In fact, it'll look a lot more like this, with groups of students working together on problems to understand what the material is all about. Whether you're in a traditional classroom or a flipped classroom, there is one problem that can happen if you're not careful, and that has to do with whether or not you decide to do the work that you need to at home. In a traditional classroom, if you decide you're not going to do the homework, usually you have a pretty bad result in the class. In a flipped classroom, if you decide that you're not going to prepare for the class by watching those lectures at home, you also can have a pretty bad result. Now this is pretty consistent with what my students have told me. I've used flipped learning in several different classes, and what the students always tell me is that the key to flipped learning is you have to make sure you come to class prepared. You have to watch that video before you come to class and learn as much as you can before you come to class. My students have told me that there's two reasons why that's important. The first reason is that if you don't do that, when you come to class, you're going to really feel lost. And the second reason they've given me is that since you work with a group of students in class, if you don't come prepared, you're going to really let the other members of your group down because you can't really give them any support. So the bottom line is you really need to come to class prepared. Either watch the video, or if you can't watch the video, read the textbook so that you come to class ready to hit the ground running. Speaking of hitting the ground running, if you think about our journey to get to the end of the semester, summer semesters are actually a little bit problematic. And that's because in a regular semester, let's say from August to December in the fall semester, you have 16 weeks to learn the material. But in the summer semester, which is from June to August, we only have 8 weeks. That means to cover the same distance, we have to move twice as fast. Now that doesn't mean that the race can't be won, it just means it's going to be a little more challenging. So the biggest thing that you're going to have to think about to succeed in the summer is you need to budget your time wisely. So let's get you off to a good start for the semester. Most people like to learn using the videos. So in that case, you need to log on to My Gateway, find the lessons for our first day of class, which are figured numbers, ratio, and proportion, and sequences, series, and means. And you need to watch the videos and take some notes. And when you come to class, bring those notes with you to class. Now the other thing that you're going to want to do before you come to class is complete the homework assignment that goes along with those lessons. You will find the homework assignments in a link that's in the same folder as the video lessons. You need to complete that before you come to class. The homework assignments are not long. They're usually about 5 questions long, and they're really just to give you your first chance to see if you understand the material. Once you get to class, we'll practice the material some more, and by the time you get to the end of class, you should feel really confident about that material. Now, we all know that sometimes math can be frustrating, and I'd like you to be aware of a resource on campus that is available to students in math. It's called the Math Academic Center, or the Math Lab, that's in room 222 SSB. They offer free walk-in tutoring for UMSL students. So if you need another point of view on some of these math problems, please give them a try and see if they can help you out a little bit. Remember, you can always ask questions of me, so if there's anything you're in doubt about, please ask. Shoot me an email. I will get back to you as quickly as I can, or ask me in class. So you've got a little bit of work to do before our first class. I'm really looking forward to meeting you on our first class period, and we will dig into geometry on that day.